Welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nothing. My name is Oscar Puente, also known as Footy from Afar, and with me as always, he just lost 5-1 to Barcelona. It's Chuck Bailey.
I just lost 5-1 to Barcelona.
No, that's the other guy. I'm just making a joke about a class. You know, a Clasico? Oh, no, you don't, because you've never watched it before.
No, didn't watch this one either. Guys. But I didn't get fired, so, swings and roundabouts.
Hey, that's what you get for not watching it, right?
Exactly. Some people watched it, got fired. Other people didn't watch it, still get their jobs. So,
logic. Boom. Moving on. With us, as always, super producer. We're going to keep it nice and short for him today, so he doesn't have to do too much work tomorrow. It's Ian Stimpson.
Thank you for that. How are you?
Good.
Episode 21.
21, we're old enough to drink. We're also recording on Halloween.
What is good is my girlfriend got all excited because we finally live in the kind of place where you might get trick-or-treaters. And it's now 8:30 here, and we have had 0 trick-or-treaters. And so just have an abundance of sweets and chocolate. It's amazing.
Well, that sign out in front of your house that says, "Fuck off children," probably didn't do much to lure them in.
Shut up. She didn't see it yet. She's going to listen to this and know I put it out there.
Still, chocolate's good.
Right.
And I'm continuing my number theme, episode 21. 21 was the winning margin in Chelsea's record-breaking 2-legged 1971 Cup Winners' Cup match against Luxembourg amateurs Jeunesse Horteridge. They had a 15-year-old on their bench, a 40-year-old forward, and a winger who had one arm. And was such a village team that they had 4 brothers from the same family in their team.
Yes.
Can you have brothers not from the same family?
Yeah, it's called a brother from another mother. Very common in the US.
That's a very good point. I don't know why I said that. 4 brothers. I don't know, it felt incomplete just saying 4 brothers.
It's the Midlands, isn't it, mate? That's why.
Yeah, we don't usually have to specify from the same family. That's just a given. But yeah, 21-0 over 2 legs.
Well, my favorite part is the guy with one arm, for sure.
I know.
I guess that you don't need it for soccer, but still.
It's just a shame that was the goalkeeper.
That might have had something to do with the 21 goals. But that is that's still a record in European competition.
Oscar's actually got a badge of that match on a shirt somewhere.
It's true. I got a tattoo of it on my ass. Oh, almost got a spit take. It's gonna happen.
Just 21 a dash on one cheek, and then just let you read into that one, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Moving on to the fixture.
All right. Starting off the weekend, we had Liverpool 4, Cardiff 1. Liverpool, best team in the league?
No, conceded to Cardiff. Shit.
Yeah.
It was a fairly quiet game for a while. Until Liverpool went kind of 2-0 up, and then it was kind of that thing at that point. Cardiff had to attack, and then once they got the goal, even Klopp acknowledged this in the post-match interview. He's like, once they got a goal and thought there was something in it, then Liverpool could just tear them apart. Hence why it then goes to 4-1. I don't think it necessarily shows that it was such a one-sided affair, even though like the scoreline suggests that. The Cardiff weren't too bad, but they just weren't that good.
Yeah, I think last week we talked about Liverpool had been kind of falling off the scoring a lot, and that maybe playing Cardiff right now would be the best thing for that, and it was. Scoring 4 is obviously a lot. Just to run out the XG real quick, it was 2.1 on the XG, so a bit of an overperformance, but that's not a crazy amount for a team that's as attacking as Liverpool, and with that elite strikers, elite finishing, they'll make the most of good chances, decent chances. So 4-1 is, I think, pretty well deserved. 0.6 for Cardiff, which is really not that much. And they scored 1 off that. But yeah, as you said, exactly how it went down. The moment Cardiff scored, they were like, oh shit, there might be something in this for us. And
and then they realized very quickly, nope.
Yeah, Liverpool was like, oh yes, there's definitely something in this for you. Come on, you got this. Boom! And they just fucking killed him. Right? Mane, Salah, back to their best. That's got to look pretty good. Liverpool had to be feeling pretty good about themselves at that point, and then they remembered that Man City are the best team ever last year, and maybe even better than that this year. So,
well, they got to be top of the league for like 48 hours, so that was good.
Yep. And that does go back to what I was saying. Man City are obviously better than Liverpool, but if Liverpool can put away all the other teams because they're better than them, and they are, and Chuck and Ian are smiling because they're like, "Oh, it's so easy to win every match."
No, it's just a drum you keep banging, which is getting borne out so far. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Need to change the skin on that drum, mate.
Changer le disc.
Yeah, I mean, if Liverpool get the results that they know that they can, like 4-1 against Cardiff, and then they can hold City to a draw, which they did, that's a decent shout for winning the league, right? Like, you don't literally have to be the best team. You can be as good as the best team in all the other matches, and then sneak a draw here and there.
Don't have to be the best team. You just have to win every game. That's it. Easy, isn't it? Simple.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Fulham 0, Bournemouth 3. Fulham!
Oh, Fulham are so bad.
They're so bad.
So bad. Like, Mitro is fully not on fire. He is asbestos.
Fully doused.
He is doused. Firemen have come and just, Jesus, not good.
Not good times, no. And like, at least earlier in the season, they did have that attack going, which seems to be drying up. And then you remember that they are the worst defense in the league. That's where things like 3-0 against Bournemouth happen. At home. They were at home.
Yeah, they were at home. Bullshit red card, whatever. Doesn't really matter. They were outplayed. And yeah, they lost 4-2 to Cardiff last week. Week before, battered 5-1 by Arsenal. Yeah, things are no looking good for Fulham.
Nope, and they have Liverpool coming up soon. I don't know if it's next week or the weekend after. But I know that they're coming up, and you gotta be, if you're a fantasy manager and you're seeing Liverpool at home with Fulham coming down the road, you gotta be putting that armband on somebody. You gotta be excited. That's gonna be a thumping.
Yeah, well, you never know, because like Fulham have got Huddersfield this week, so they might only lose that 1-0.
Set your alarm for that Monday night football. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight race between Fulham and Burnley for the worst defense in the league, which... If you said that to someone last year, they would have been like, Burnley, that's crazy. And then the stats people would come out of the woodwork and be like, no, but they wildly overperformed.
Overperformed, eh?
Beep, beep, boop. Burnley are bad.
Burnley are bad. Burnley concede 9 goals in 2 weeks. Burnley are the league's Luxembourg, whatever, sofa, blah, blah, one-armed bandit team.
Yeah. So far, for expected goals conceded this season, both Fulham and Burnley are at about 22.5. Fulham are at 22.49. Burnley are at 22.3. And no one else is above 18. So they are far and away the two worst defenses in the league. And we'll get to Burnley in a second. Obviously, their defense, that showed out in their result this weekend, which was pretty fun. Hey! But, yeah, Fulham, I don't know, what are we thinking? Fulham... relegation, or is their attack going to be enough to keep them up?
I mean, it just shows that if their attack isn't on it, that they can't do nothing. I keep hearing loads of conversations when I'm on trains, and you get the geezers that are talking about football. And they say, well, the thing about Fulham is like they signed too many players. Like, a lot of the players they signed were actually on loan for them last year. So a lot of them had played for the same team. And they had to buy so many players because they went into this season, I think, with a squad of about 16, 17 people. So they didn't really have much chance. First game of the season against Palace, I think 8 of their starting 11 were new, including the whole back line and the goalkeeper.
Yep, and 4 of them were brothers from the same family.
Yes, from the same family.
That never happens.
Yeah, and then there was one brother in midfield who was not from the same family.
No, but he was a brother. Someone.
He was someone's brother.
Someone's brother. Yeah.
Ian, you're never living that down.
He was someone's brother. That's how I'm saying it. You could be for... Oh, fuck off. Full of shit.
There you go. Summarised better than I ever could. Next.
All right. Moving on. Brighton 1, Wolves 0. Do we care about that?
Wolves are frauds. They don't exist. They're bullshit. They're not a good team.
Yeah, well, they did win the XG on the night, but that's not much consolation. They gave up 0.8 to Brighton, and Brighton scored. Right, so that's fine. Wolves did 1.3, didn't score. That's within reason, the variance. I know any given night will be +1, -1 on goals. So, I think Wolves are actually a good team, though.
Wolves?
Wolverhampton, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I think they're pretty good. Like,
Your ambivalence towards Wolves is just you
No
really
real
didn't
reason
like
for
them.
it either. Because I did like them at the start of the year, but I don't know. I still don't know if they can sustain it because, yeah, they've had a great start and they're up in 10th, but they've scored 9 goals and conceded 9 goals. To put that into perspective, Cardiff have scored the same number of goals as Wolves.
my counter to that would be that Wolves are ahead of Watford, Manchester United, and Arsenal for expected points.
Yeah,
And if you look at that graph, I tweeted it from the account recently. I think it was Ted Knutson that put it together, looking at the regression of expected goals and expected goals allowed versus actual goals and actual goals allowed to basically do a metric for overperformance. Wolves are actually right up there with the other top 6 teams.
Nah.
In terms of like their underlying numbers.
Nah.
And they haven't had the easiest start to the season or anything. Like they've had a perfectly normal, I would say, start to the season. Normal literally meaning like average in terms of their opponents. When their underlying numbers 10 games into the season have them in 5th or 6th, depending on who you ask, for the quote unquote expected points, that's a good team. Like that's not a bad team. That's a reasonably deserves to be in and around where they are in the table.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Watford 3, Huddersfield 0. Huddersfield going down?
Actually, I take back what I said earlier about Fulham being so bad. Huddersfield defence are the shittest in the world. They... Oh my God.
You're the ultimate heart on his sleeve football fan. Like the last thing you hear just influences whatever you think immediately. Like, Wolves have lost, they're shit now.
Yeah, that's it.
Have lost,
only as good as your last bloody game, mate. That's it. No, Pereira's goal, like, you can say that Pereira was really skilled for that, but it is just that Huddersfield defence was so shit. Like, what if you haven't seen it, watch it. He basically kind of walks, strokes, jogs through about 6 or 7 Huddersfield players. Actually, no, sorry. He jogs through 5 players, but he beats 2 of them twice. And then kind of just rounds the keeper. And it's just a bit like, what is going on? And then a couple of minutes later, Deulofeu does basically the exact same thing, but from the side rather than straight down the middle.
Yeah, and when it's Eden Hazard doing that, you're like, oh, okay, makes sense. Or Wilfried Zaha doing that, you're like, yep, amazing dribbler. When it's Gerard Deulofeu, who everyone forgot about, and not just because of his injury, he wasn't good enough to make it at Everton. You know, when he's the one doing it.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough to make it at Barcelona, mate. That makes him shit.
Yeah. Moving right along. We're moving at a good pace, actually, for once. I'm sure we'll get bogged down soon enough. But hopefully it won't be by Southampton 0, Newcastle 0. The less said, the better.
Yep.
Holy fucking shit, Newcastle
Yeah.
are so boring. 0.4 to 0.9 on the XG.
No, Oscar,
Not a
Oscar,
single one
Oscar,
of them broke.
Oscar. Chelsea 4, Burnley 0.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that?
I feel great, baby. Chelsea 4. That was a fun match. That was a real fun match. Oh, they're so fun to watch. Remember last week when I was like gushing?
Yes.
Still super fun to watch, baby. They're so good. Oh, they're such a fun team. And guess who scored?
It's a boy.
Ruben!
Yeah, man. He needs to be really careful because if he keeps playing like this, he will not get that transfer to Palace in January.
That dream move.
He just won't get it. And so he needs to be really careful.
Had the hat trick, too, in the Europa. We didn't talk about that because that happened after.
Fuck. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, debut Europa. I believe it was his debut Europa League match, European competition match. And he scores a hat trick.
Who are they playing in the Europa League?
Don't remember, don't care. That wasn't on TV in the US, so I didn't get to watch it. Anyway, fun match, 4-0. Chelsea, you're great. And genuinely deserved 3.3 on the XG.
Are Burnley just inviting teams onto them constantly? Because when I've seen Burnley, they seem to be playing really deep and just allowing so many shots on goal. I mean, even when they're playing lesser teams, not just Chelsea, they seem to be playing so deep and just allowing so much to happen.
Yeah, and I think to me the thing is if you're going to sit that deep and try to defend, you can't be conceding shots from inside the box. Like, Chelsea have done that in seasons past to great effect. Again, most notably, I bring this up all the time, against Barcelona in that 2012 Champions League match. They were down to 10 men. They just packed the whole box. and Barca was just taking shots from distance and not doing anything with it, right? But Burnley sits super deep, and then you look at the fucking XG map, and it's like all but 3 of Chelsea's shots were inside the box. So it's like, what's the point of sitting that deep when you're not even going to fucking prevent high scoring chances, like high percentage chances?
Yeah.
It's a surprise from Dyche. I mean, I'm early on, you guys said Burnley were not looking good, and I was not convinced. But the more I see them, the more I think they're in trouble.
It's between them and Newcastle and Huddersfield for being the worst team, and then above that would be, I would put Cardiff, Southampton, and Fulham.
There's not really a gulf between those two groups, though.
No, it's all close. They're all really terrible. There should be, honestly, 6 relegations this year. Like, there are 6 teams that deserve to go down. But there won't be. Only 3 of them will. And then Palace will finish 14th.
Yeah, don't do that, because if there were 6 teams relegated, it'll be the 1 year, and then we'd finish 15th and get fucking binned. Still pisses me off that 95 season. Fuck's sake.
Do you...
Anger.
We have the joint record for the most points for a relegated team from the Premier League.
Is that right?
Yeah, because you remember because originally it had 22 teams.
Yeah, of course.
And then 1 year they relegated 4 and promoted 2.
Yeah.
And that was the 1 year. That was the year when Palace were 17th. Yeah,
tough times, man. Tough times.
Very good. Not very good.
Do you guys, as England fans...
Oh, well, hold on. Don't tar me with that brush. Hang on.
I seem to remember some very drunken, very excited celebrations happening live on air around episode 3 or 4 of our podcast, I would say.
Didn't happen. I'd say I was more of a World Cup fan, because I'd just given up with England and the European League of Nations Cup of Ryder Cup. DEFCON, whatever it's called. I don't know.
Barkley, though. Barkley was the thing I was bringing up. Do you guys care about Barkley? Are you excited that he's finding good form again? He had a lot of potential. People were very excited about him as the next great young English player. And then he had some injuries and some setbacks and blah, blah, blah. But it does seem like he's really finding his best more recently. He seems to get along really well with Sarri and the Sarri ball system, quote unquote. Does that excite you guys as English guys, or are you just like, yeah, I don't care, whatever?
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not nice, because, it's good. He's done some goals, and getting the chance to play, it's not often you actually see those English players come through into the big 6 teams. So that's kind of how it works. The media builds up these players, says they're like, the next, they said Barkley was the next Wayne Rooney just because he was from Everton. I'm pretty sure he is Evertonian, that area. Or you get the next Beckham. At least that's how it works if you're white. If you're black, you just get slagged off for buying your mum a house.
Well, and Barkley is half white, half black, so that could have gone either way for him, really.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me actually, because that came up a few years ago. I remember there was it a journalist or something that got in massive trouble because they.
Yeah, it was The Sun, surprisingly. It was Kelvin McKenzie.
Well, there you go.
That friend of the football fan, Kelvin McKenzie.
What did he say? I don't remember this.
He compared Barkley to a gorilla at the zoo or something.
Jesus, fuck.
Yeah, and he's got a grandfather from Nigeria, so that's great move. Well done, Kelvin. Another win for you. Fucking idiot.
It's a tough time for Barkley, though, getting into that midfield in Chelsea. Like, right now he's only barely hanging on above Kovacic, who is probably the, go-to guy if everybody's playing to their levels. But right hot on their heels are Barkley and also, obviously, Ruben, who has a hat-trick and then a goal in 2 games in a row. He's doing really well, too. Tonight, actually, Chelsea are playing Derby, Frank Lampard's Derby, big return to the bridge for Frank Lampard as a manager. And Ruben started in the front 3 in the hazard position.
Yeah, big time.
Which is pretty interesting. I have no idea what's going on.
Interesting side note in that game. Chelsea are currently winning 3-2. Derby have scored 4 of those goals.
2 own goals?
Oh, my word.
Quick math.
Wow. I can't wait to find the highlights of that later.
And 2 Chelsea loanees are playing for Derby.
Yep, they gave him special permission to let them use it
really?
because it's Frank Lampard and it's the best thing. Yeah. I said on Twitter, if the fans in that, it's a fucking nothing competition that no one actually cares about. And if those fans aren't just singing Frank Lampard's name all night long, his first day back at the bridge, like, come on, what are you guys doing? That's got to be Super Frank all night long.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be.
One of the other matches on Sunday, Crystal Palace 2, Arsenal 2. Chuck, was that great? Was that bad? Was that frustrating? Was that the best day of your life? How you feeling?
What I would say, Oscar, is the first penalty. Luka Milivojevic steps up. Where does he put the penalty, Oscar?
Hard and low and to the left.
Hard and low to the left. Where last week, should I say, is his best spot and where he should just smack the penalties?
Hard and low and to the left.
Interesting. Yeah. The second penalty that Crystal Palace got, where did Luka put it?
Hard and low and to the left.
Yes. May I refer you to my earlier statement? I am right. Everything's great again. Hodgson in. We're all right,
I know,
guys.
and the crazy thing is that neither of those penalties were even deserved, right?
Oh, my
word. Don't you.
Touch paper lit.
Oh, my God, because the second penalty, it's not enough that every pundit watching it, the manager of the club and the player who committed the foul have come out and said, yes, it was a penalty. No, not enough for some people. Wilfried Zaha still dives. Brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And again, in this lovely climate we live in, is getting racist abuse and death threats. Because that's
delightful.
what football's about. Thanks, guys. Scum. Subhuman scum. But yeah, it was great to watch.
Yeah, Arsenal only generated 0.9, so you kept Arsenal below 1.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, when Arsenal have 6 shots and generate 0.9 from that, like, that's not that good.
No, it's kind of said what you said, like, about the way Chelsea played, and allowing the shots off, but not being, like, really good looks or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Only 2 of those were from inside the box. Most of that 0.9 is from one shot, like right on the line. It's a huge, huge dot.
Which was the goal, which only went 9 millimeters over the line and was, everyone talks about Zaha diving. Lacazette jumps arm first into the air. A 5'5" man beating out 6'4" defenders to a headed ball. Shades of Maradona there. Oh.
Doesn't get mentioned now, Zaha dive though, do they?
No. Xhaka's free kick, though, was an absolute thunder bastard. Oh,
Yeah.
my word.
Yeah, it was.
Saw him teeing that up and thought, he can shoot from there and curl it. Oh, no, he's not. He's just going for Artin.
It's happened.
Jesus.
What has Palace's problem at home been, though, Chuck? Has it been lack of shots or has it been lack of quality chances? What has been the problem?
It's a combination of things. Like, I think we haven't started off with our best team for a while. It was good in this game that Hodgson made some subs. And funnily enough, the 2 subs that came on made a huge impact. Sirlot and Maya, who is amazing. And yeah, so things are looking good. We're playing Middlesbrough away now, which is always useful midweek in a pointless game. And we're losing. Brilliant. It's all right.
Oh, dear.
Good. No more Carabao Cup for us. We done 2 goals. I'm happy with that. That's a fantastic result against Arsenal. If you watch on balance of play, I think we could have got more out of that game. But I'll take it. And I'm not too butthurt about the Lacazette handball, because I could sit here and go, it's another sign why we should have VAR. And it does mean that. But, with the kind of knock-on effect of how games go, maybe if Lacazette hadn't done that, Palace wouldn't have got 2-2. Maybe Arsenal would have then won that game 3-1 or something like that. So
you never know.
With the benefit of hindsight, I don't mind.
My absolute favorite moment was your boy, the absolute unit, Sorloth, and Mustafi trying to take him down, and just shrugged him off like nothing.
Yeah.
Michael Kelly had my favorite stats guy, writer, soccer person, had a really good tweet about it, so I'm just going to read that tweet verbatim because he put it better than I ever could. The other thing here is that Mustafi tried everything he knew to knock down Sorloth and stop the break in midfield, and he wasn't even able to break Sorloth's stride. My boy, the absolute unit, cannot be tackled by such puny human effort. It was good. It was comedy gold.
Swatting wankers as he goes.
Yeah.
Man, he's just Dolph Lundgren. He's just a fucking footballer Ivan Drago.
Should he be playing more for you guys? Like, you're lacking a striker. You're trying to find, like, anyone off the stands to play. Meanwhile, you have this guy. Like, is he not useful in the least, or what?
I don't know. He's good. He's just very hot and cold, and he hasn't really had a chance to have a run yet.
As opposed to Benteke, who's just cold and cold?
Yeah, he's just ill, yeah.
Freezing an absolute zero.
Yeah. I think it's always difficult when you're in a position when you don't get off to a best start. It's always hard then for those inexperienced players to get a chance in games, especially when they've only just come to the league and they're not really the most experienced and being able to deal with the pressure. Now, I think after the amount of games we've had and seeing how shit some of the other teams are, maybe Roy could take a bit more of a chance on playing them and actually playing a bit of a better midfield. Starting Meyer because he hasn't for ages. I think he's only started 2 games, Max Meyer. But I think we have a chance to kick on now, and it you know, as I said before, the only thing that really fills me with massive confidence is the fact that there are so many really shit teams.
Yeah, there's 6 teams that are definitively worse than anyone else, and then from there, there's kind of a crapshoot in the middle of the table, and then the big 6, right? And even the big 6 are really just the big 5 right now.
Exactly. And speaking of crapshoot in the middle of the table, Manchester United, everyone, they done a win.
Yeah, I think Paul Pogba is still running up to take his penalty.
Still running up. I saw a fantastic tweet from him today of a video of him going, "How do I get to my car?" and just doing that down his driveway, all those steps into his car.
It reminds me of like Looney Tunes cartoons when someone's trying to be sneaky, like Bugs Bunny being like, ding, 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 ding. Like, does he think that the keeper can't see him before he takes that pen if he sneaks up? He's like, oh, he doesn't know I'm moving. He doesn't know I'm moving.
Goalkeepers are like T-Rexes. Their vision's based on
exactly.
Yeah, very much.
Did one of you guys retweet that thing of the picture-in-picture of Usain Bolt doing the 100 meters?
Yeah, that was me.
Faster than it. Yeah,
I don't know if I did it from our account or my personal account, but yeah, the quote-unquote run-up to his penalty literally took longer than Usain Bolt's gold medal 100-meter sprint. Like, it's amazing.
Unbelievable. He's very lucky he bashed in the rebound. He really is.
Yeah.
I like Pogba, but I've got no time for that bollocks.
I wonder if Usain Bolt's run-up is, like, crazy fast. If he, like, starts at the halfway line and he's like, gotta go! He just sprints at it.
Gotta go! And the goalkeeper's just like, shit!
He's just amazed. He's just sitting there, mouth agape, being like, wow, this person is so fast at running that they just don't even have to see it. I really would love to see him.
I'd love to see him do better. No, you know what I'd like to have? I'd like Usain Bolt to do a penalty. Do you remember in like 94 at this, when was it? The way the American leagues used to do penalties, where they'd start with the ball from the halfway line and just be one-on-one with the keeper. Oh my God. If you've never seen it, look it up. It's one of the most horrific, violations of what football should be ever. But it's fucking brilliant and should be brought back.
Oh, that's the reason I'm not like on Twitter. Everyone's like, "Oh, you say soccer? You're American. You don't know shit. Fuck you, baby. Don't have an opinion." And I'm like, "Fuck you. I know more than you do." But I also, at the same time, like, Americans are kind of the worst, and I see where you're coming from. Like, just because I recognize, just because I'm American doesn't mean I don't realize that, like, a lot of them are real fucking dumb. And that was, like, I think that was the first season of MLS. And they were like, you know what would be more fun? If penalties were like they are in hockey, where you have to dribble up and then the keeper can come off his line. And then they did it, and everyone was like, this is very dumb. Like, what are you doing?
There was a great Budweiser advert in this country that said something that was taking the piss out of that with, like, it was like injury time multi-ball, and all the like advertising hoardings came and just loads of balls fire onto the pitch.
Yeah, and the score just racks up to like 32, 34, like all of a sudden.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for it.
That said, yeah, I would love if penalties were like that. Like, yes, that's not at all what the game is like, but wouldn't that be so interesting?
It's just something different. I think penalties are boring.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed golden goal while that was a thing very briefly.
Was that for like 1 or 2 World Cups, right?
Couple of tournaments,
where it wasn't around for long, was it?
No, it was only a couple of tournaments, but yeah, the goal in extra time, it made that extra time grind a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, because now both teams just inevitably play for penalties. Like, if they don't score in the first 5 minutes of the extra time, they're like, all right, well, you know, the Simpsons joke about what soccer is like. They just keep it in the center circle, and they're like, no, you go. No, you go. I'm not going. Are you going to go? I'm not going. Is there genuinely a rule as to, like, how far away your run-up can be for a penalty?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Not that I know of either, but I want to see if you guys knew. I remember David Luiz taking one where he started from basically the halfway line. He's a psychopath. His foot was broken also. No one knows this, like not even Chelsea fans know this, but in that Champions League final in 2012, that yes, I'm going to bring up again and I'll never fucking stop talking about it. Chuck rolls his eyes.
Number 2 of the week. Yeah. I'll just tick that off on the board there, guys.
His foot was broken for that match, and he played through anyway, and he took one of the penalties that got scored in the penalty shootout, and he started his run-up from the fucking halfway line, screaming and like the Usain Bolt joke we just made, and hit it harder than anyone has ever hit a fucking penalty in his life. The keeper dove out of the way because he didn't want to get decapitated. And I'm pretty sure Luiz's foot went in with the ball because he kicked his own foot off. Then we did have a Monday night football match. Man City versus Tottenham. And when I say football, I do mean NFL football.
It was proper Monday night football. I just wanted the commentator to be like, and Silva, he's got the ball on the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Oh, he skied it into Rosehead.
Yeah, City are good. Tottenham are shit. And 1-0 flatters them. City look pretty unstoppable. 2.4 on the road against an allegedly top-tier team in Tottenham. Yeah, that's it. And that brings us actually, on a much more somber note, to the only match that we haven't talked about yet. Leicester won, West Ham won. Honestly, I don't think the football is the story here, as most people know at this point. It was a tragedy leaving the stadium. Leicester's owner's helicopter crashed. Obviously, there were deaths and lots of people in Leicester. He was a very beloved man, and it was an upsetting kind of thing. So I feel like we probably shouldn't really go into it with this match, other than to say, like, our deepest condolences to people from Leicester and the city of Leicester in this terrible time.
Yeah, I think so. And more to remember, you know, the impact the guy had was incredible. I mean, he gave all of us as sports fans, because this is very much a thing that puts into perspective that club allegiance really means nothing. And, you know, football as a whole, as much as we get together every week to record about it, you know, there are bigger things than what happens on the pitch. And the impact that guy had on his community and also that club and other fans, and gave other fans the chance to believe. I mean, he got 5,000 to 1 shots to win the Premier League. You know, whichever way you cut it, he was part of that and made every club believe that they too could do a Leicester. So yeah, like we said, our sincerest condolences to all of those affected. It was a very, very sad day for football.
Yeah, and the outpouring from not just Leicester fans, but the other clubs and players from other clubs and the entire football community was, I don't want to say nice to see, but in a moment like that where there's a lot of heaviness and darkness to it, to see people come together like that, again, forgetting the club allegiances, forgetting about any rivalries or anything, like just players, coaches, clubs, fans from everywhere. Kind of
it was exactly what had to happen.
Yeah.
It was exactly what had to happen.
While, as you say, the football is trivial, it is also something that football does fairly well in these situations. It's come together to support each other, really, because I mean, Leicester, as you say, the community projects and stuff that were put in place and the charitable donations. I mean, he obviously meant a great deal to that area. So, yeah, as you say, I think to go through the football would be fairly trivial. Yeah, and all that being said, let's move it on to our listener questions. So, last week we got asked about who was going to go first, out of Mourinho and Lopetegui, and I think we, as pretty much everyone did, we called it, didn't we? I mean, 5-1 is a battering, and
I believe that's a drubbing.
Yeah, a shellacking.
That's a dicking.
Dicking, drubbing, shellacking.
Yeah.
Thumping.
Yeah.
The writing was on the wall, wasn't it?
Yeah. Robert Huth probably won't have enjoyed it that much. I wonder who enjoyed that game less, Lopetegui or Huth.
Yeah. I forgot to check in with Huth. Damn.
Oh, we should have. I'll give Rob a call later in the week. Best mates we are now. Yeah, no Messi or Ronaldo in El Clasico for the first time in, 15, 16 years?
15, I think. Yeah.
15, and you still get a 5-1 absolute wonder show. Luis Suarez getting a hat trick. It's phenomenal.
Luis Suarez does, like, obviously playing alongside Messi, no one's going to ever really talk about you, but that fucking guy is so good. Ugh, I hated him when he was in the Premier League. Yeah, I hated him because he played for Liverpool. And if he played for Chelsea, I would have loved him. He's one of those Diego Costa types that you fucking hate him so much.
Diego Costa, but could actually play football.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, that's what Luis Suarez is. He's Diego Costa, but just somehow, even with all the bites and suspensions, feels like less of a bastard.
The bites are definitely my favorite thing about him. Not once, not twice, 3 fucking times he bit someone. Like, what is wrong with you?
Still fine. That's like ABH. That's like community sentence at least.
That is
3
crazy,
times.
isn't it? That's not just seeing red. That's like, oh no, this is something I do.
Like that's definitely, you need to go to therapy for that. Why is it always biting specifically?
Wasn't it the third time where he went down afterwards holding his teeth as if he'd been injured?
Yeah. The second time was against fucking Chelsea, and then he scored like 5 minutes later, very late in the game.
Wasn't it Ivanovic?
And they fucking won. Yeah, Ivanovic, yeah. And Ivanovic like ran up to the referee and was like, dude, he fucking bit me. Look at the bite marks on my shoulder. What's wrong with you? And the ref was like, oh, didn't see it.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to step it up how far he could go. Like, because he did it once in the Dutch league and thought, okay, so I can do that here. Nice. And he like steps it up and goes, Premier League, wonder if I can get away over here. Let's see, World Cup. Yep, can do it there as well.
I'm a world class biter now.
World class bastard. I'm just gonna bite people and twat Ghanaian shots off the line. With my
that shit I thought was heroic. Everybody's like, oh, he's a cheater. I was like, no, he knew they were gonna score. He saved his fucking team, took the red card, even though he knew he was gonna get it. Then the penalty got saved and they won. Like.
And then he celebrates on the touchline like an absolute mentalist.
Fully deserved. He knew the consequences of that action. He chose to do it. It worked out for his team. And
yeah, he was gaming the rules, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's no different to those tactical tackles in a way. It's just,
yeah, it's
much
not the way
further
you
along
feel
the
like
line.
it should be played.
No, not so much.
But Dave has come in with another question, and it's about penalties.
Of course he has.
But it's penalty chat. So, when a penalty is saved, should was it Chris Wadley, or when he was commentating, always used to mispronounce it, penalty? I can never get that out of my head.
I don't know, but I'm going to look it up now.
Idea. Yeah, like so now, like whenever I go to say penalty, I can't stop myself from going penalty.
I remember playing football against a kid years and years ago, like we mentioned before, when you go to those football summer camp things, who just said like penny, and so every time it's like penny.
What, when appealing for a penalty?
Yeah, penny!
I would instantly send him off.
Yeah, but he was like 6.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, I twatted him anyway.
Like the Mike Dean thing that they say on the Football Ramble. Come here, red. Such a... dear. Anyway, when a penalty is saved, should the ball be live in play, that's the current rules, or should keepers who save a penalty be more rewarded and given a goal kick?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Why yes? Why should you yes? Your team's getting punished.
Because saving a penalty is like the hardest thing to do. You should be like, okay, you did it.
But you can't be rewarded off of the back of a punishment. That's not how it works. If a penalty's been given as a punishment to the team, like you should suffer the consequences, and then the ball is live in play. That's the reason why in penalty shootout, once the ball moves in the opposite direction to the goal, that's it, the penalty's done. So in that situation, the ball is dead. That's why, like, sometimes you see those videos where a goalkeeper saves it and the ball flies up forwards and then it rolls back into net and people are like, oh, it should have been given as a penalty, as a goal. Like, who scored that penalty? No, it doesn't. And because in that situation, it's a level playing field. But whereas live in the game, like, that keeper's team doesn't deserve a second chance. No.
See, I feel like you just made the argument for why it should. Like, once it's moving in the other direction, like, that's it.
No, because in a penalty shootout, no one's at fault.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
So no one's
I'm saying
being
it should
punished.
be the same in both cases. Though.
Nah.
Well, I'm the American who wants, like, hockey-style penalties, so... And you guys are the English who are like, nah, that's the rules,
Multi-ball
proper
penalties.
football. We don't like changes.
We don't like change. One thing I will say, though, is I still believe that if you do miss a penalty, you should just be banned. So,
Who's doing the banning there, Chuck?
The
Football Association, just for
penalty
lack
guys.
of quality.
Mike Dean runs on. He gets to be at every game just to go, you, come here, red.
Yeah, he can be the par or the penalty assistant referee. I don't know. I just feel like saving a penalty is like probably the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, it's good.
And so, like, you should be rewarded double for, like, once it's saved, like, that should be it. Not that I ever would have thought of that or said that out loud, but since Dave is asking.
You don't hate it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So if you want to polarise our hosts like this again, then you can get in touch with us at Miles Offside Pod on Twitter, Miles Offside on Facebook, or milesoffsidepod@gmail.com if you've got a lengthy email about the Australian outback to send us. And if you could subscribe and review us wherever you get your podcast, that would be really appreciated.
Yeah, do it now. We'll give you a little gap right now that Ian's just going to leave in to make his edit easier.
Yeah, I'll give you to the count of 10.
Yeah.
1, 2,
Subscribe.
3,
Subscribe.
4,
Like.
5,
Review.
6,
Do that.
7,
Click there.
8,
Yeah, wait for it to load.
9,
5 stars.
10.
Job done.
Yay! That's gold. That's airtime gold, baby. We're on it today.
Smashing it.
Bump!
So, fixtures coming up this weekend. The Mop Derby.
Oh, shit.
Chelsea Palace on Sunday. 11
sorry.
o'clock, 16 o'clock over there.
I can't record next week, guys. I'll be...
Watch, when Palace wins, he's going to be like, oh, can't we record 2 episodes? I'll be like, all right. You guys usually...
We do have a good result against you against Stamford
Yeah.
Bridge. We have had a few, haven't we? Even Benteke scored against you last time.
All right. Don't get carried away.
It's when Azpilicueta gifted us our first goal of the season last year.
That's right. Yeah.
After 7 games.
Chelsea captain Azpilicueta.
Yeah. Oh, God. How shit have things got to be when you don't score for 7 games and the first goal you get isn't scored by you? Oh, that was bad times. There was a guy, actually, speaking of that, on Twitter last year, obviously, when we were so shit, and he said, whatever happens, the first player that scores for Palace, I'm buying a Palace shirt with that player's name and number on it. And he posted pictures afterwards, and he got Azpilicueta on a Palace shirt.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I appreciate that.
It's fantastic.
All I would say about this, other than like, yeah, Chelsea have been really good and fun to watch and blah, 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 like I said, there are 3 fixtures that always fucking make me nervous. Palace coming to the Bridge. It bugs me out. Going to Everton, because we don't do well at Everton. And thank fuck they're not in the top division anymore, but going to West Brom. Because, like, 4 managers in a row got fired after losing to West Brom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
we
the
would go to
thing,
West
wasn't
Brom,
it?
we
Yeah.
would lose, and they would get fired. And it was always in November. So...
Keep an eye on that if Chelsea draw West Brom in the FA Cup next year, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But Palace coming to the Bridge makes me nervous, man. I'm not pretending that Chelsea aren't obviously the better team, but I don't know. I just got a weird feeling. It's been a while since we had like a disappointing, stupid result. We'll see how it goes.
And to be honest, that's what we're all about. We're all about disappointing, stupid results. So,
I mean, you just got 2-2 on Arsenal.
Yeah, just got 2-2 on Arsenal. Before that, got 1 point off of like Newcastle, Watford, Bournemouth, someone else shit. Oh, God.
Yeah. Put a scoreline prediction down for this one.
There will be some goals. No, Chelsea will just 3-0 it. And
Really?
it'll break my heart, yeah, and Ruben will get the last goal.
Oh. Fully erect.
Yeah. I didn't think I could get any more flaccid. The other side.
Ian, who are you siding with in this one? You going with me or you going with Chuck?
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, mate. Why would you even ask that question?
No,
Because
I
I
think
want to be divisive and have
It's not
an amenity.
divisive. It's asking common sense. Anyone who thinks Chelsea aren't going to win is mental.
No, sorry. I don't mean who do you think is going to win. I mean, who are you rooting for in this one?
Oh,
Well,
wow,
I mean,
okay.
Again, it's common sense.
Who do you like more, me or Chuck?
Yeah, I was just saying, that's the real question. That's the real quiz.
Oh,
I'd like a draw.
I'll take it.
But what I think is going to happen is, Chelsea to win and keep a clean sheet. So I think it's going to be 2 or 3-0, probably.
Gonna be a dickin'.
So am I the only one who's nervous about this one?
Yeah,
For Chelsea?
That's because you're a Chelsea fan and have something to lose.
I mean,
Facts.
Me and Ian support shit teams.
Speaking of, how's Peterborough doing?
We've closed the gap. Closed the gap on Portsmouth to 2 points, I think now. So yeah, that's not too bad. We got Wycombe Wanderers on on Saturday.
Home of the Beast, Adebayo Akinfenwa. I was just trying to make it a bit like a wrestling promo. I love that guy.
Not too bad. Still second, can't complain. We've got our chairmans on Twitter, and the amount of shit he gets when we're second in the league is unbelievable. And the thing is, he puts his money in his pocket consistently for Peterborough. If he ever gets pissed off and just fucks off, we are so fucked. But I'm feeling pretty good about Peterborough at the minute.
Good feelings are good.
Good things.
Chuck, you'll get there eventually, don't worry.
Good things. One day.
Chelsea Palace. Palace might be on the up after that result against Arsenal, because I think feeling around the club felt a bit negative previously. And I think the Arsenal result, because like you say, you could have easily got 3 points there. So, I mean, it's definitely possible that you get something out of this game, but I just think Chelsea's quality should show through, really.
Speaking of Arsenal, they get Liverpool this weekend. Are they going to get a dicking?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think Arsenal's defence is that shit. Liverpool are just going to smash them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they did give up 16 shots to Palace, and if you give up that many shots to Liverpool, it's going to be a lot more than 0.5 XG.
Yeah, it should be.
Fancy a high-scoring game?
Yeah, actually, I see that being high-scoring in both directions.
5-3.
Yeah, some crazy scoreline like that.
Yeah? Over 3.5 goals, then we'll go for that one.
Bournemouth United, to kick off the weekend. We've been going all over the place. Let's go in order. Bournemouth United. Bournemouth going to win this one? I feel like they could. They're a pretty good team.
Early fixture is always anything can happen. No. Isabel doesn't agree with that.
No, she's not happy with that.
She's like, no. Hang on. Scream once if Bournemouth are going to win.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there we go. The response to that question was for her to piss on my girlfriend.
There you go. So is that a yes? Or...
Yeah.
Jury's still out on that one.
Unclear.
Yeah, all signs point to
All signs point to we have to be done recording in about 2 minutes. Yeah. I think Bournemouth will do something there. Honestly, I do. They're a good team. They're underrated. Their stats are really good. Their underlying stats are really good. Right alongside Wolves, they're one of the teams that have surprised everyone for being better than anyone gives them credit for. And Pogba's been really good, but everyone else has not been so good.
Even Graham Souness said Pogba was good.
Oh, no. Unbelievable.
Cardiff Leicester?
Well, I mean, Cardiff are terrible. Leicester obviously have a high emotional stake in the next match that they play.
Yeah.
I'm very much going to be rooting for a Leicester win.
I think most
for
people
obvious
will be.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Cardiff have any class here, they're just going to score 7 own goals and let Leicester take the win, right? And actually, Cardiff are bad enough that they might accidentally score.
Yeah, I was going to
7
say.
own goals.
I don't even know if their ability lends itself to scoring own goals.
Chuck, do you want to do Neil Warnock? What would Neil Warnock say about 7 own goals? If he was saying that they were gifting Leicester the win.
Oh, we had a lovely time. It was lovely. Having such a great time. I love it. Just want to go back down to the Championship. He didn't endanger his life. He didn't.
I enjoy your Warnock voice. It's good.
What a twat. I love the guy. West Ham Burnley. The claret and blue derby, I guess.
Where's Aston Villa when you need them?
Right where we want them in the Championship. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nowhere near the Premier League.
Yeah, it's like putting something in a safety deposit box. Like, we know it's there, it's fine, it's just over there, just distance, all right?
Yeah.
Then we've already spoken about Arsenal, Liverpool, and then we've got a really weird fixture, lads. I can't remember the last time I saw this. There's a 7:45 kickoff on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know what time that'll be in America now because of like time changes and stuff, and God knows.
Oh, yeah, I gotta set my alarms for different. Saturday is still regular times. Sunday, we've made the jump.
Yeah.
So the Sunday matches are going to be at different
clocks
times.
changing is enough of just a stupid thing, but the fact that countries do it at different times.
Yeah, come on.
Come on,
Yeah.
guys. Like,
I know.
Wait, did you guys already go?
yeah, last week, Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Saturday matches are going to be at different times. Hey, if you're American, be careful with that. Don't sleep through the matches.
Me and Chuck were sat here for an hour waiting for you, Oscar.
Yeah, we were.
No wonder you were so mad when I signed on.
It was ridiculous.
Wolves Spurs, though.
But yeah, Wolves Spurs 7:45 on a Saturday.
According to the stats and underlying numbers, Wolves are the better team, but Spurs are the bigger quote-unquote team and will have more confidence going in. So I don't know how that's going to play out.
I don't think Spurs will have more confidence. I don't think they have any reason to be confident about anything right now.
Savage. Okay.
Aren't they on something like their highest Premier League total at this point for years?
Oh, actually, that reminds me of a really good stat that I wanted to bring up. Might as well bring it up now. So, Liverpool are in second place, right? After 10 matches, they have
26 points.
26 points. That is the most points that a second place team has ever had through 10 matches. Chelsea, third place, 24 points. That's the most matches a third place team has ever had through 10 matches. Fourth place, fifth place, and sixth place. All of those teams have the most points that anyone at their position has ever had through 10 matches.
Brexit effect. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. That's just how it works.
That is insane, though. That does show how bad the bottom half of the table is.
yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it really does.
Fucking hell.
There's 6 teams that are bad are so fucking bad.
Yeah, but the fact that there are still, how bad were Derby that year that they finished with 8 points? Like, everyone jokes about it everywhere. Oh, could this be the team that beats the record? Like, Newcastle have been absolute shit. Huddersfield have been absolute shit. Like, they're still almost halfway to that total.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
There's got to be a lot of variance that goes into that too. Like, though that Derby team's expected points, underlying numbers or whatever, can't have been that much worse, if at all, than these guys are. It's just there's natural variance, and randomly you'll get 2 goals on 0.5 XG, and like shit like that just happens. Because I can't imagine teams being much worse than Newcastle and Burnley and fucking everyone else, Fulham. Like those 6 teams, like they're so fucking bad. But we're not even talking about them right now. Let's talk about Wolves. Let's talk about Spurs. I think I'm going to put my money on Wolves for this one. Why not? I've been talking shit about Spurs all season. I'm sure if you're a Spurs fan, you're tired of hearing my voice. So I'm going to stick with it. Right? Wolves, probably better.
You're going to die on that.
Let's see what happens. Matt Doherty and his fucking Player of the Month award, fully undeserved. He better score a hat trick here.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going 1-1. Score draw.
Kane penalty?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probability states.
Yeah. Lots of penalties this week.
Loads of penalties. Can't be less penalties than last week, though. Got to be more. More.
And all of them dives.
All dives all the time. Because everyone dives. Sunday. This Sunday's another weird game for fixtures. Why is there a game at 3 and a game at 4?
o'clock.
Yeah,
Very weird.
1 hour apart is really weird. That means there's a 0% chance that Chelsea are going to be on TV because City are playing.
No, Chelsea's on TV. Well, here
Well,
at least.
over here,
The
yeah.
Chelsea Palace game is TV. But you get every game anyway. I don't know what you're fucking whining
Yeah,
about.
but sometimes I got to stream it with their app because it's like only, you know.
Dear.
Oh, look at me! I have to do something slightly different to legally get every fucking game
And I'm stuck watching Soccer Saturday like a bellend.
for £800 a week.
Yeah.
If you guys like the Premier League as much as we do, then you'd get it over there too, you know? We're just bigger fans.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
There are literally more Premier League fans in the US than in England.
I mean, there's literally 5 times as many people.
Sure, I know. I'm not denying that, but I'm saying in terms of the actual number, there are more people who watch the Premier League regularly and are fans by whatever metric than there are in England.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
there's probably
putting that
more
out
in India.
Oh yeah, we're huge in India, mate.
You know what else is big in India?
Miles Offside podcast. Much love to our Indian listeners. We love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. We're forever in your debt. Because if it wasn't for you guys, we would not have a podcast.
And
there are about 2 Americans and 6 English people, and we're friends with all of those people. Everyone else is like India and Barbados.
Yeah.
If any companies in India would like to sponsor us, just get in touch. If needs be, we'll move over there. I'll learn the language, I guess.
Yeah, I would do an ad for an Indian beer company. Like, gladly. Right? What's a good Indian beer? Let's do one right now. Let's practice. India
trying to think of
beer.
an actual Indian beer.
We're huge fans, by the way. Whoever we're about to do.
Whoever we're about to do, love it.
Heineken? Heineken is the biggest beer brand in India, according to business.
Brilliant.
Maps of
so
India.
if Heineken want to get involved, we'll happily do an advert for Heineken.
Jesus, we're such whores. We just
yes.
it's just like we will do whatever for money.
Ian, when we first decided to do this, you told me that we would be raking it in by like episode 20. We're on 21 now, and I'm still poor as fuck. We've got a child to feed. You need to start living up to your promises, Ian. Where's my inordinate amount of money?
I think I underestimated how shit we were going to be.
I think you overestimated it. Overestimated how I don't know.
I underestimated my command of the English language.
I'm still quite ill, guys. Just leave me out of it.
Why am I the one that sounds the least dumb this week? Like, what is going on here? We got brothers from the same family. We got not understanding.
A broken clock is 2 in a bush once in a moon or something.
Yeah. All right.
Man City Southampton. 6-0. Huddersfield Fulham. -4, -3.
Yeah, can we have negative goals in that
Negative!
You owe us 6 goals for making us watch this.
Yes. That's going to be on... That game is going to be on...
Monday Night Football.
I'm so glad I'm at work. So glad.
Mitro hat trick. Why
not? You're fucking mental, mate. It's time to go. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Thank you, Mr. Ian Stimson.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Oscar P. Puente.
That's me.
Do you have a middle name, Oscar?
I do. But
does it begin with a P?
Does
it begin with a P?
It does not begin with a P. It begins with an R.
I just always call you
OPP.
I always just
yeah.
In my head, he is always the OPP. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, guys. Take care. Goodbye.
And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we
change the introduction by a tone, and it completely throws the whole fucking thing
I was
off.
too busy looking at your faces to see if you'd react.